This is Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 5, text 7. Translation: One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Purport: One who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from the tree. He knows very well that by pouring water on the root of the tree, the water will be distributed to all the leaves and branches, or by supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all, he is very dear to everyone. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness. Because he is pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. And because his mind is controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of his being deviated from Krishna, nor is there a chance that he will engage his senses in matters other than the service of the Lord. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna, and he does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, why then was Arjuna offensive in battle to others? Wasn't he in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because, as has already been explained in the second chapter, all the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually as the soul cannot be slain. So spiritually, no one was killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in the reactions of work. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vichitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvanapi nalipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So the devotee has particular vision, particular perception. He sees everything through the eyes of the scriptures, and he sees everything as it is. He sees that everyone is a part and parcel of God. He sees that all living entities he sees as his brothers and sisters. So for him, giving and serving is natural, is not a problem. And he knows that by doing devotional service, he is pleasing the Lord, and in this way he is pleasing all living entities. Of course, part of the service of the Lord is serving other living entities by helping them in their Krishna consciousness, by engaging them in devotional service, by supporting them, by helping them to practice Krishna consciousness. And now we see that in the Bhagavad Gita there is a description of three kinds of charity. Charity in the mode of passion, charity in the mode of ignorance, and charity in the mode of goodness. So Bhagavad Gita is not proposing indiscriminate giving, but Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how to give in a Krishna conscious way. That kind of giving is the highest, that kind of giving is the best, and it benefits the giver and those who are in the receiver in the most beneficial way. So giving, what we may say that giving is an art, how to give. And the devotee has this giving mentality. The devotee has service attitude. And here it is said also, so why a devotee is very dear to everyone. So if you're a giver, you will be dear to others. Because everyone likes to get something, everyone likes to receive something. So if you become a giver, then you will become dear to people. You will become, even you may become famous because you are giving, always giving something. Srila Prabhupada said, I have not to technological Indian students and other students, when in one class, he said, I have not come here to take something from you, I have come here to give. And I have come here to give you something valuable. So giving and serving are very much interrelated, and our original nature is to serve. Sanatana Dharma, our original characteristic is service with love. And if one is not engaged in serving, if one is not engaged in giving, he cannot be happy. In the material world, all the conditioned souls are selfish. They want something for themselves. They want to put themselves in the center. But the attitude of a devotee is completely opposite. He knows that the secret of happiness is giving. In this world, and in any world, those who are happy are givers, not takers. The more you give, the more you get, so you can give even more. As far as the resources for giving are concerned, devotee has so-called abundance mentality. That means that he understands that there is unlimited resources from which he can give and share with others. And he knows that everything belongs to God, and he knows that the God is Bhagavan, and that he possesses all six opulences in full, and there is no scarcity of anything in this world. This world is full of resources for every kind of aspect of life. The problem with us, or conditioned souls in general, is that they don't appreciate what they have. They are not grateful for what they have, and therefore God doesn't give them more. Imagine you give sometimes something to someone, and they say, oh, that's not good, or not good enough. Will you be inspired to give more? How many of you would be inspired to give more to such a person? You would be inspired. Okay. Once I offered some money to my stepdaughter, and she said, oh, this is too little. And then I said, okay, then give it back. And she said, no, it's okay. She was very small then. She was maybe 6 years old or something like that. But if I think last time or in the morning on Sunday we spoke about Lord's being inspired by the gratitude of devotee, like Mukunda. He was very grateful that in millions of lifetimes he will see Lord Chaitanya, and when the Lord saw his grateful attitude, he immediately brought him back for darshan. So we can see, also in Nectar of Devotion, there is a mention that the Lord is grateful for every Mahamantra that you recite, every chant, every Mahamantra. The Lord is grateful for every small thing that you do. So God is the most grateful person, actually. But unfortunately, people, they don't understand Lord's mercy. They don't understand the existence of God. and they go away. I don't believe God exists because He didn't help me. People ask, can I trust God? And I ask people, can God trust you? Are you trustworthy? You're kind of calling up God, and you're trying to check out if He is real, if He is genuine. But are you real? Are you genuine? Are you sincere? Are you a servant? Who are you? So abundance mentality, abundance perception of the world is very important. And modern politicians, they try to create a situation of scarcity. There is lack of this economic crisis. Economic crisis is an excuse for few people to make money. This is how they make a lot of money. Scarcity is a myth. Srila Prabhupada said, I have seen so many fields, but nobody wants to work. There is food everywhere, but nobody wants to do some effort to get food. And they're throwing away food, and some people are being hungry. So equal distribution of wealth is one of the 9 characteristics of a human being mentioned by Bhishmadev in Mahabharata. Equal distribution of wealth. So now maybe you have experience of being happy when you are giving. How many of you have this experience? So I think over time you will find more pleasure in giving than receiving. Giving than receiving. Because this is our nature. Our nature is to serve. Our nature is to give, and we find more pleasure in giving and serving than in receiving and being served. Of course, love includes reciprocation, giving and receiving, but I think there is more pleasure in giving. What do you think? You make someone happy by giving them something, so it's a pleasure. Especially if you give them something super valuable like
Krishna consciousness.
yes.
Books.
Yeah. In some form, you give them Krishna, or Krishna consciousness, or some connection. That's the greatest gift. In the 11th canto, it is said, if you give what is most dear to you, you earn eternal life. And then in the purport, Hridayananda Maharaj mentions giving your wife and children, giving your money. So what is dear to people? What is dear to you? What is most dear to you? Think about it. You don't have to publicly state. You can, but you don't have to. What is most dear to you, and what would be very difficult to give or to offer on the altar? When I was in England, at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, Indian people come and give old clothes to devotees. And devotees are grateful because sometimes they don't have even old clothes. They have left their home, they have left their jobs, and the temple doesn't have money. Of course, Manor has a lot of money, but let's say temple doesn't have money. So we are grateful that they are bringing some clothes. Or congregation comes and checks out, because this is where the washing machine was. There is a box. So some of these people were sitting when I was giving class, and I said, it's very nice that you are bringing something that you don't need. But actually, you would please Krishna more if you bring something that you are really, really, it's dear to you. For example, your silk sari, silk dhoti, your jewels, you bring them not to me, but to the altar. And they were looking at the floor a little bit. But I'm not trying to torture people, but the point is from the Bhagavatam that if you give something that is most dear to you, then you earn eternal life, and it's a good deal, isn't it? You give something that anyway is not yours. And sometimes, people want to flatter donors. Oh, you are so great, you're helping us, you're saving us, you're helping us so much. But Prabhupada sometimes used to chastise donors. They say, you're a thief. Big donors. So you're a thief. Krishna has given you so much and you are not giving. Now you have given something good, but it's not yours. So Prabhupada has given us so many challenges. In the light of the Bhagavad, Srila Prabhupada says that Brahmanas should inspire Kshatriyas and Vaishyas to give for the mission, to give for the worship of the Lord. But at the same time, he said, you should not flatter. Flatter? Understand? You should not speak sweet words to these rich people so that they will give you money. And you never preach to them straightforwardly, but you only flatter them and speak, you are so nice, like this. Once they came to, somebody invited them, one Grihastha invited them to his home for lunch, devotees, Prabhupada and devotees. And the householder, who was a host, he was showing his family to devotees. This is my wife, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my daughter. And Srila Prabhupada said on the side to one devotee, this is my sex life. So Prabhupada he was very compassionate and very emotional, but he was not sentimental in the material way. He understood. And he was not flattering rich people. And I heard that some devotees tried to push Radhanath Maharaj to push people that he knows, the rich people in whose houses he is preaching, to push them to give more money to ISKCON or to ISKCON projects. And his policy, I heard, and I like it, is that he never asked anybody for any donation. Of course, he gets a lot of donations, but he doesn't ask for this. If Krishna inspires them. Once a journalist asked Srila Prabhupada, oh, how do you get money? Very suspicious. How do you earn money? Huh? Maybe CIA giving you money? If some people tell us that we are financed by America, or financed by CIA, or financed by any institution or country, we would say, that would be really great, but it's not happening. We would like this, so can you please help? We are always like half poor. So he said to this journalist, he looked at him and he said, Krishna says people like you to give us money. And the journalist was shocked. How we maintain ourselves. He didn't tell him, sometimes he would say we are distributing books, we are selling maybe some paraphernalia or prasadam or restaurant, or try to squeeze, add the cost and somehow look real, that we are not stealing and we are not financed by CIA. But in that case, he didn't explain anything to him, he just told him, Krishna tells people like you to give us money. He shut up, didn't speak anymore. So the devotee has a faith that Krishna will give him what he needs. But if he doesn't give him what he needs, he doesn't lose faith, and he doesn't stop chanting, and he doesn't stop serving. This is a devotee. Because we are not businessmen. We don't serve so that Krishna will give us facilities, or even maintain us in the very basic way. We don't serve like this because of this. We serve because this is our eternal position. When many Jews were killed in the Second World War, many of their wives stopped believing in God because they prayed to God that He protects their husbands, but they were all killed and they stop believing in God. This is not faith. This is very immature faith. That means people don't understand who is God. They don't understand the purpose of life. So if you look at things from the materialistic point of view, you can easily lose faith. If you are always putting conditions on God, you are not in a position to put conditions on God. If you don't do this, I will not believe in you. If you don't do this, I will not serve you. If you don't do this, I will not chant. This is not devotional. This is not devotional. This is business, this is arrogant, this is demanding, this is, putting yourself in a superior position. And many people like to do business with God. They will put a donation here, and they will pray to God, please, I have given you something, give me much more. This is not devotion. It's business. There was more before. Somebody took it. It's good because you never know. Better take on time. Because when I was singing on the streets of Ireland with caracals, I had a little basket, and I think I told you this. And some boys would come and they want to steal paper money, because sometimes there is a good bunch of Irish pounds. So I developed a system of taking paper money very fast, as soon as it comes, and leaving few coins. And if they want to take coins, it's okay, no problem. But they don't want to take coins. They don't want to take coins because this is too small for them. So they saw that there is no business here with this street singer. So, in our Krishna consciousness movement, we see that actually the problem is not having too little, the problem is having too much, especially food. I have not seen devotees undernourished. I have seen many devotees suffering because they overeat, bad digestion, and so many diseases that come from overeating. And of course, it's understandable, they have left all sense gratification, the only thing that is left is eating. They try to compensate for all other intoxication, sex life with eating, but after 35 years you become sick. Your poor body trying to digest for 35 years. Sunday feast that you took in 82. And, sometimes body is screaming, please don't stuff me up so much. My body is screaming, please give me lighter food, soups, some lighter things. Don't stuff me with fried things and heavy things. And there is amazingly heavy preparations. Do you know? When you eat it, you just become like stuffed like a teddy bear. And you feel like coming out of your ears like halava, whatever. And sometimes you eat light food and you think, oh, this will never fill me up. So you try to eat a lot of quantity of light food, and then it puffs you up. Then you become like a frog. So these are some of the, psychological problems that devotees have in our movement. How to digest food, and how to become free from depression of inability to digest food. Although I remember during the wartime in Serbia, we had soup and bread every day, or 3 times a day. It lasted only a couple of years, and even during that time, those who would go for preaching, they get chips and paneer. And of course, those who don't go for preaching, if they have connections in the kitchen, they can get also part of this. But I don't remember that we are starving in any situation over the last 35 years in any temple. So So Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam sejana parupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yoga kshema mahamyaham. 9:22. Learn it, very important. It's a devotee care verse, 9:22. Ananyas chintayanto mam. So those who are engaged in worshipping me with love and serving me with love, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. Carry what they lack. This means he provides what we need. And my devotee, please declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. What is the verse, Sanskrit? Vinashyati. What is the Sanskrit of this verse? I can't remember. So, devotee is never destroyed. Krishna always helps the devotee. Sometimes he is on the edge of existence. Maybe he is tested. But Krishna always maintains the devotee. He always helps the devotee. Even Pandavas were in the forest, but they were able to survive. Even many devotees were in many difficult situations. I remember once one my friend, devotee, who served for a long time in Bangladesh, and also he was there present for some couple of years. So he was always like a temple commander. He was always doing all practical things. So he was always serving devotees. He was always serving prasadam. And one feast, I can't remember which festival it is. He was serving prasadam to everyone, but he forgot to save a plate for himself. And at the end, when he finished serving prasadam, there was no more prasadam. So you may say, where is Krishna now? He has sacrificed so much. He was serving everybody else after a whole day of fasting. And so what do you think happened? Can you guess what happened after he has realized that there is no more prasadam? Yeah.
Maybe someone reserved for him one plate.
Yes. No. Nobody reserved for him a plate. But plate appeared from somewhere because somebody forgot or left early, had to leave or something. From somewhere plate appeared. Not all preparations, but there was a lot of prasadam. Especially he likes rice. There was a lot of rice. He was happy. It's rice. But he was also very happy from serving so much. I mean, when you serve, you also become less hungry when you see how others are honoring prasadam. So my philosophy is that giver is never a loser. Some people say if you give, you have less. But our philosophy is that giver is never a loser. Giver is always gaining much more than those who receive. When I was in India, many years ago, I see how devotees are really running to serve prasadam in the holy place. And some devotees are really running to take prasadam because they are hungry, they have different problems, like in the holy place you have different challenges. And some think that, oh, it's so nice, there are so many of them who want to serve me or serve us. But they don't understand that those who serve actually get more benefit, gain more. Now there is a catch here, catch 22 or 66, that if you become very kind to some people and they misuse it, you should not be naive. To give doesn't mean to be naive. To be good doesn't mean to be naive. If people are exploiting you, if people are exploiting your kindness, your generosity, you should let them know and you should not be giving. You should not be giving. It's not that we want great respect for what we do. It's not that we expect huge gratitude. But if somebody is obviously a rascal, you need to let them know, and you will not. You will not serve them. You will say sorry. You have to understand what's going on. And if somebody is always taking, if you don't want them to reciprocate with you, you can ask them to serve others, that they serve others. So for every session I give you for free, you have to help someone. If you don't want to pay me, or you don't want to give me an orange or whatever, you have to help somebody else. So what is the ideal result of helping someone? The ideal result of helping someone is that he becomes a helper of someone else. So every patient should become a doctor. If you're a doctor at the moment, you're counseling someone, you want them to counsel others after some time. This is your goal. And we will be speaking tomorrow in the mentoring meeting about these things. So what's the goal of mentoring system? What is the goal of devotee care? The goal of devotee care is not only to take care of you, but to make you a caregiver. So if you know this, then you are not always in the position of a victim, or in the position of a patient, or a position of a served person, but you are promoting yourself gradually to the position of a servant. You want to serve others. People say, how can I give when I have not received? How can I give care when in ISKCON nobody cares for me? You can, why not? It's your nature. You have power to give, even if nobody is giving to you. And God is giving us so much all the time. Oh. And we are not grateful. And when you start giving, you develop your giving muscles. So you can start your day with the question, what can I give today? And then you will answer, books. I will give books, or prasadam, or support, or guidance, or listening. Maybe most difficult thing, to give your ear to people. You know, in the word heart, in the middle, E-A-R, in the middle of the word heart is the word ear. You know that? So that means that listening is love in action. And if you want to show your love to someone, listen to them. If you want to show your love to God, listen to Him. He wants us to listen to Him, like anything, more than anybody else. So you may say, I'm listening to God every day. But the question is how much you are taking in. Maybe listening is like this. Here in, here out, here in, here out. And what we hear from the Lord should go here. And then manifest in action. So now how can you start your giving project, lifetime giving project? You can start giving things that you don't need. But some people don't even want to do that. Oh, maybe I will need this, or maybe for my daughter in the future, this dress. And then when your daughter grows up, she says, oh, this is old-fashioned, I don't want to wear it. So you have been keeping it for 10 years, but now, she doesn't want it. You could have given it to someone who doesn't have enough clothes. Don't be afraid to give, because God will give you more things that you can give. You're keeping something to give to someone who is dear to you, but actually don't be afraid. Yesterday I got a garland for the class, and I was thinking, whom should I give this garland? And I was going around. There's these kids, if I give them the garland, they will maybe throw away. Then many people left very quickly. By the time I came back, I was taking prasadam here. Many people left. And so I went to the pot washing room. Not pot washing, plate washing room. You know where it is? There. And there was these 3 people washing like anything. And then I gave garland to one of them. I said, this is all 3 of you, but you cannot fit in. Actually, they could fit in their heads. They could fit in their heads, all 3 of them, but one is Mataji, so maybe it's too close. I don't know if it's husband or something. What is the relationship? But I told them, you smell it all, or wear it for a couple of minutes. And then one Prabhuji is coming back with a beard, the one who you took kartals from, and he's wearing the garland, so the 4th man. And he says, I'm from Serbia, from Kragujevac, that's one city. So that's what I was thinking, maybe he's from Iran or Iraq. But he was from my country, and he said, oh, we don't have a temple in Belgrade. So I say, maybe you can open it. And so I tried to inspire him to start something in Serbia. But maybe also shave his beard. to be more in line with, Lord Chaitanya didn't like the beard of Sanatana Goswami. You remember that? So the more you give Krishna, the more you get Krishna. So you're getting Krishna every day, and then the result, if your motive is right, the result is that you feel so much Krishna's presence, you feel so much Krishna's attention, you feel so much Krishna's love. Maybe you have a dream, Krishna is smiling at you. You are distributing books. Krishna comes in your dreams and smiles and says, double it. And he says, yes, my Lord, I will follow in the footsteps of Ananda Prabhu. I will distribute sets. So if I meet 30 people to take the set and send first 20 books, so this is 600 books. Not so bad. 600 books a day. So if you start with giving something you don't need, if you have extra something, immediately look who needs it and whom you can give. And always, if you have, sometimes you are in a situation to give something that is very dear to you, or you need it, to give to somebody who it will really mean to them. But somehow you need to be guided from within when and to whom you should give, because it should be Krishna conscious, it should be right place, right time, right person, right circumstances, and then you can give your charity. Especially for grihastas, charity is recommended, to give prasadam charity, and anything you can give in charity. When devotees come to me and say, I am poor, I'm impoverished, that means I have no money, I'm in a bad situation. My first advice is start giving. And they say, but I just told you I have nothing. 50% of nothing in charity. Or maybe it's 2 euros, 1 euro immediately. Why? Why I say that? It sounds funny, it sounds unreasonable, and they are often shocked. Why? Because the reason why you don't have money is that in the past, I'm 100% sure you were either a thief or very selfish. So this means on the scale of giving and taking, you are very much in the minus. Now you have to fill it up onto 0 and go up by giving something. You can give anything. If you don't have money, you can give support, you can give service, you can give a hug, you can give a smile. You can always give something, but give. This is the very core and essence of our nature, to give. And so you can ask yourself this excellent question: how can I give today? What can I give today? And if you can give something with great love, maybe you cannot give big things or big gifts, but you can give small gifts with great love. I have been distributing stickers for many years now, at least 4 years, and people like to receive this little piece of paper, which is called a sticker. Of course, there they get blessings of Lord Nityananda or Lord Gauranga, and they get all Prabhupada's books on that sticker because there is a link to Wikipedia. So I'm also distributing books, you know. Wikipedia.org, you have a link. So you want to give people something valuable, even if it's a little piece of paper, make sure it's full of value. So this is packed with value. And if there will be a little cookie underneath, it will be a full package. You give them Nityananda sticker, Gauranga sticker, Prabhupada's teachings, and Prasadam. And it's all in one little bag, and that's perfect gift. So always have something with you to give. For example, you can always carry small books, which is not difficult to carry, and whenever there is an opportunity, you can give someone a book and write maybe a little dedication to inspire them to read it. Or you can always have these nuts or Govinda Vishwadeva sweet balls, and whatever. I mean, you can prepare yourself something. Always have something with you. Always think, okay, who is my next prey? You know, prey? Victim? Who is my next victim? Like a victim. Who is the next receiver of my gift? I'm looking for a receiver of my gift. And people like to receive. And this is exchange of love. Srila Rupa Goswami says, giving gifts, receiving gifts, giving prasadam, receiving prasadam is an exchange of love. And especially exchange of love is confidential conversations, which we really lack in ISKCON. Why? Because there is no so much trust between devotees. So they don't have confidential conversations. We have taboo topics. We don't speak about certain things. Like, you know, your problems with lust. They don't speak with many people or with anyone about this because you're afraid you will be thrown into Rhine. Rhine? River Rhine. Or hanged. Hanged on a stick. Or maybe banished. But when you are able to speak of your challenges, you will be more easily able to deal with them and to solve them. So if you find someone who you can trust to speak about your dark secrets, then you can become free from the ghost of a dark secret. So I hope that you have, through this class, you have been a little bit freed of fear of giving, because we are afraid to give, because we have been trained that giving means you're losing something, but actually giving means you're gaining much more than you give, because the Lord is pleased. And you will also see so much reciprocation from so many directions when you are a giver. And when I was in Poland, my only time in Poland, I think 2005, it's so many years ago, I gave a very fired up Sunday class about giving, and I spoke about my iPod, and I spoke about how, at that time iPod was a little bit in fashion, 13 years ago, now maybe not so much, there is so many iPhones and Android phones, and I was thinking, my God, I hope someone is inspired to give by this. And I was speaking about my iPod, and sometimes Krishna is testing me with my, most expensive or best gadgets, that somebody is putting their eye on them. And after the class, one young man approached me and says, Akul Prabhu, do you still have this iPod? You understand? He wanted my iPod. So now I'm sure you are wondering, okay, what have you done then? You're a preacher, you're a giver? Well, what do you think? What have I done? when he approached me after my lecture about giving, to give him something, what have I done? What do you think? Can you guess?
You gave him this package with the cookie and the Goranga sticker.
At that time, I didn't have that. At that time, I didn't have this. Yes?
You would have told him that I was talking about giving something spiritual.
That's an excuse. How do you say excuse in German?
Yeah. Entschuldigung. Ausrede. Ausrede.
Ausreden.
Ausrede.
Ausreden. Okay.
Maybe you said, first I transfer my database and then I will give you.
No, it's not a big iPod. It was very small. I mean, at that time, 100 megabytes was a lot. it was like a USB stick, a little bit bigger. But for me, it was. I mean, I got it as a gift from one Prabhupada disciple in England, and I liked it. I mean, it helped me a lot. I can listen on the bus. I was traveling so much in England, 3 hours a day. So, any other guesses? You will not. You cannot guess this. Yeah. I haven't. That's true. But why? Why? That's the question. Yes, you are right. But why I haven't given? Huh?
Didn't work anymore.
Didn't?
Maybe it was somehow damaged, not usable for.
What?
Was maybe somehow damaged or not so.
No. Anyway, I have a big excuse. Yes.
Don't give it to him because you need it for a preaching purpose.
No.
To give.
No.
Maybe you already promised to give the diaper to someone else.
It's smart. I will give you a cookie now. It's not that I already promised, I have already given it. But I didn't say it in the lecture, that I have already given it. So the day before, one young Mataji came to a management meeting, and he was so smart. She impressed me so much. And I know for young people to get a gadget is inspiring. So, and I said, okay. So I had given it away the day before. And I didn't have. I said sorry. I already gave it away. But I can give you. I gave him something, a picture or something. I didn't have another gadget, so I have only one iPod. Now I have one broken phone, one functioning phone, and a small laptop. So sometimes Krishna is testing us, or people maybe misunderstand the lecture. And also, I mean, sometimes after the lecture about giving, people come and give you a lot of things. Well, this is not my motive. I mean, God is my witness. It's not my motive that they give. In Buenos Aires, I had a seminar, Financial Competence for Devotees, and I was teaching them how to make money, how to save money, how to inspire Krishna to give them more money, how to use some professional strategies to get more money. And at the end, they gave me a lot of donations, but this was in their currency, which is maybe not so much, but for them it's a lot. I mean, pesos in Argentina. So. And I didn't have 1 second, I didn't think that I will get anything, because I wanted them to learn how to, because they were struggling with money. And, so I had another, in Zurich recently, I had the same seminar, Financial Competence for Devotees. I call it Lakshmi Seminar. So you can, if you like, I can do it here for a smaller group. While I'm here until Monday, until 11th, until the next Monday, so I can do it if you are interested in this. But I think you are not poor. Maybe you have a social services support, or you have a good job, or you have rich parents, or you have little demands. Maybe you don't need much. But if you want, I can share with you my notes, and also we can have a little course on Lakshmi, how to make money. And I can give you immediately, even in one sentence, the secret why would Krishna give you a lot of money if he is sure that you will not misuse it for sinful activities or for self-gratification? So you straighten your motives and you can approach Krishna, please, I would like more money, fast. and see what happens, just experiment. Thank you very much for listening. So, do you have any questions on giving or on anything else?
I have a question. So it's about offering. So is this, sorry, English. How to compare, or how to see giving and offering?
In which offering?
We offer our senses, we offer our wishes.
Offering?
Offering, yes.
Offering.
I mean this because it is not the very high level. It's not just like give me a flower and the water. So that is clear. But this offering, that is offer. That is what I should do because it is just I should do. So that is also giving. What is the difference between giving and offering in this sense, in this way?
Offering is giving, but you can give out of duty or you can give out of love. So maybe you don't feel so much love, but what I recommend, I mean, I have it on the top of my folder with where I collect different thoughts, and which I publish also on Facebook, is the sentence that is always at the top, is before you do anything, you say to the Lord, Mighty Lord, please accept my offering or my service. No, please accept this as an offering of love. So even if we don't have so much love, but if we say to the Lord that we want to offer this out of love, not out of any other motive, then slowly I think we will start feeling that love, and we will start feeling that the Lord is pleased much more, if you want to develop that mentality. So you can offer out of duty or you can offer out of love, and this needs to be developed. It doesn't come overnight, and Krishna sees our desire to offer to Him anything with love, and He will help us to awaken that love which is already there. Okay?
That is, for example, I have a small jar now. It was just very, very small. And every time that is really out of love, so I offer it just from my heart, because it doesn't work different. It is I don't know how. It happens naturally.
I believe you.
And I saw the devotees who were in Radhadesh, and they took the deities with them. In the morning, very early, they got up and did everything for the deities. They offer, they wash the deities early in the morning, before Mangalarati or just during Mangalarati.
That's nice, but also devotees neglect their japa. They do so many things in the morning. Of course, if you have deity service, you need to do that. And then later seriously chant japa, but devotees avoid japa because it's so hard. So we should not make excuses with so many other activities. It's not bad to do worship in the morning, but the best is if you can do japa in the morning and then worship after that. Japa is a whole another story. We can speak about japa for like 1 month and still not have enough of it, because our japa is not very good. Our japa is not very good. We need to improve our japa and do it much more seriously. And therefore I recommend japa partnership. When you have You know, a buddy, you have a partner, a japa success partnership, where you report to each other when you have finished your rounds and what was the quality of your rounds. And I do this with some devotees, even today, online. They send me and I send them. And there is always somebody with whom I have this relationship. With some people it's for some time, then maybe they become stronger, or they don't want it anymore, but then there is always somebody else. So this is very good. It's mutual accountability about japa. These are some practical ways how you can show Krishna that you are serious about your japa. But the question is very important. How will you show Krishna that you are serious about your japa? Definitely not by chanting and looking at your smartphone. Krishna will be not convinced that you are serious about your japa. And you may say, well, I'm looking at Krishna's picture, so I'm right. Okay, that's fine, but maybe you better focus on the sound with the name. Yes?
I wanted to ask you, when the people on the street comes to you and ask for something, for some money, and or for some food, I have heard we don't need to give money because we don't know what they will do with this. So what should we, and to go without to give is, you feel that like empty, like you, what should we do in this case?
I already said this in the class. Always have with you something to give. It can be food, it can be books, but you can always have some prasadam. Those who are driving cars, there is often beggars who beg from car to car, and they come to you. If you are in the front, you have nothing to give. It's good if you have a cookie or nuts or whatever you have, these sweet balls, or even sandwich. Always bring something with you. It's not heavy, you can have something. And sometimes what I do with beggars, if I don't have anything, I bring them to the shop, I buy, offer it, I say, now you take it. And sometimes they really object because they didn't want food. they want cigarettes or something. Yeah, and I tell them, sorry, I can only give you food. This is my religion or something.
You can also give them Hare Krishna or Hare Bol.
But along with prasadam. Together.
Yeah, but if you don't have anything, you really have nothing with you, so why not? You can also give the mantra.
Yes.
In a friendly way, and
Yeah.
they will also.
But you can make sure you have something in your pocket. There was one article in BTG called Lakshmi in Your Pocket. It's a very nice article. I am using it for my seminar, where it explains about Lakshmi. Okay, this one. Yes?
And one lecture you talked about balanced actions. And I want to ask, how do you get into the state of mind, and how do you realize, how do you feel when you're in this balanced state? How do you know that you're in a balanced state?
Balanced actions.
Something like that. Maybe I wrote badly down, but something like actions and balance. So like balanced actions and balanced state of mind.
What I can remember from what I said is that one challenge that we all face is balance between being soft and hard. Because sometimes in life you need to be soft and patient and kind, and sometimes in life you have to be strict. You cannot be soft all the time. That's impossible. And even Krishna asked Arjuna to not be soft anymore. He wanted to be soft. And in one purport in the first canto, Srila Prabhupada says we should not follow the mild nature of a woman and always be soft. Because sometimes we need to be strict. And he himself also, it is said the Vaishnava is sometimes as hard as a thunderbolt and sometimes as soft as a rose. So this balance. Also it is said that you should have a courage of an English soldier and you should have a heart of a Bengali mother. So these are the instructions about balance from Srila Prabhupada's teachings. And Paradukha Dukhi means that one is very compassionate and one feels pain because of others' suffering. But we also understand that people are put in such situations so that they can surrender to Krishna. So we should use their suffering to help them, but not if somebody is dying and you tell them, yeah, this is because you're a demon. No, but help them become stronger and then slowly try to, explain to them what's happening. Because people don't know. Bob Dylan, he sang, something is happening here, but you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones? So he's right. People don't know what's happening and why. Many people think there is injustice, but actually there is no injustice in the universe. There is no injustice. So this balance is a great challenge. But if you are guided by Krishna from within, then you can know, okay, now I have to step up and say something. And I have asked Anish Prabhu to send you, I don't have your, do you have WhatsApp?
Yeah, I will give you my email address.
He sent you?
Sorry?
Did he send you?
Not yet.
Anish, did you get my message?
No, not
You
now.
are not checking your WhatsApp?
I don't have internet. I'll check now.
You don't have to check now, after the class. I sent him what I promised, my poem with a quote from Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the second part, chant anyway.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
This is related to your question of the foggy mind.
Yes.
Yeah, chant anyway. So.
Send it
What you said?
She want also to
Oh
receive
yeah.
this.
Oh, it's similar to Mother Teresa's. No, actually, have you heard of Mother Teresa's poem, Do It Anyway? No? You have heard. So this is not Mother Teresa's poem. I know the author. She had it on her wall, and therefore people think it's her. But actually, I have written and had a personal communication with the author. His name is Kenneth Keith. He is a Christian, and he wrote, and he said they also added something at the end, which is not in consistency with what he wanted to say. But I got inspired by that poem to write this chant anyway. So, but maybe you don't know this. It's very famous on the internet. I mean, do it anyway. Even if people are ungrateful, do it anyway, or serve anyway, something like that.
And the end is, in any way you do it for God and not for the people.
Okay, so this is what he says. He didn't write, and he says it's not in line with what he wanted to say. It's like a little bit cruel. So it says anyway, it was not between them and you; it was between you and God. But I think it's actually we can say that this is accurate. This is right, because if you serve people, they're not grateful, but you're actually serving them so they can come closer to God. So you are serving God. You want to serve God. Let's say you give people Krishna consciousness, they're not grateful. Krishna is pleased, they are not pleased, but you have done your duty. So in one sense we can say, but he is, he told me this because this is his understanding. He's not a Hare Krishna devotee or like Paramahamsa. So, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.